How's it, dude? Transparent phones. Imagine a device where all of the electronics are so small that the device itself can be made completely see-through. It may seem completely science fiction, but it was actually a thing for a while. There's been plenty of prototypes over the years, and even some fully released devices, but that idea has never been fully realized. So, what happened? How does a once promising device completely disappear? Okay, first things first, I have to get one thing clear. The transparent tech I'm talking about in this video does not include the abundance of electronics that come in clear or translucent plastic housing. This is a separate phenomenon that was actually quite common from the 80s to late 2000s. It originated from prison cells of all places. Inmates were given technology that had this clear plastic housing so they couldn't hide any contraband inside. Notice how all of the electrical components are still visible. It's just housed in clear plastic. Mainstream device makers picked up on this and made plenty of devices using this cool aesthetic. Most notably, at least to me, was the N64 and Apple's iMac, but there's plenty of other examples. This tech trend sort of defined the late 90s and early 2000s. The unique style was popular and relatively cheap to pull off. It is just plastic after all. But that is not what this video is about. It also doesn't include transparent backed phones like Nothing or Xiaomi has made. To explain what I'm really talking about, you need a little bit of background. There's this very specific idea in technology. I don't know if you know it, but it's called Moore's Law. Moore's Law states that the number of transistors on a chip will double about every 2 years. This leads to more efficient and affordable devices. It's how computers went from this to this in just 20 years. Chips were getting more powerful and less large. This is also what gave us the smartphone. Computer parts had gotten so small and efficient that you could now fit the power of the Apollo missions into the palm of your hand. Since then, phones have gotten more and more powerful at an ever-expanding rate. They've stayed the same relative size, but have gained specs at a seemingly exponential rate. This gave birth to an idea. What if we made a phone that had components so small that you could make the device see-through? In this idea, components were either see-through themselves or so small they could be relegated to this thin border, allowing the rest of the device to be simply a smart pane of glass. It may seem crazy, but this is entirely possible. A device screen itself, whether LED or OLED, is somewhat easy to make transparent. Typically, you can just remove a layer behind it because the pixels themselves are transparent. This is an idea popular in science fiction, most notably in the fictional LG phone Tony Stark uses in Iron Man 2. Created by prop maker Russell Bobbitt, it was really just a slab of glass surrounded by a 3D printed frame. The actual effect was achieved through CGI. But that makes it clear that this idea was being thought of and sponsored by actual phone companies as early as 2010. But even before that, companies were trying and failing to make a transparent device. In July of 2009, the first functional semi-transparent smart device released. The LG GD900 Crystal was a touchscreen smartphone that also had a slide-out keyboard. The keyboard was completely transparent and functional, with capacitive buttons. It also lit up in dark environments, giving it a glowing crystal appearance. Just a few months later, Sony took a stab with their Xperia X5, also known as the Pureness. This was a premium feature phone, not a smartphone, and it was the first personal device with a fully transparent display. All of the electronic components were in the body underneath the keyboard. The display was tiny, and it didn't have color, but that didn't stop Sony from charging $990 for the device. Targeted at wealthy individuals, it came with a few other perks, including a year of, quote, legal and moral assistance from a business called Quintessentially. So yeah, kind of weird. I almost bought this and unboxed it for you guys here, but it is a very expensive collector's device now. This is true for all of the devices in this video. They either don't exist or are way too expensive because they've become collector's items. Finally, about a year later, one more device came out. The Lenovo S800 was released in October of 2011, but only in China. It was essentially just the same device with a different font. The screen was still black and white, but it was bigger than the Pureness. This device was also significantly cheaper, at around $190. That's just about every transparent device that made it to market, and you can see how that original goal didn't really translate. It would be a while before the technology could catch up. But before we go into all the stuff that happened after this, we have to go into why this trend is a trend in the first place. Okay, so the idea of a transparent device seems futuristic, but it falls apart the second you start to think about it. But that does not mean that there aren't some advantages. A see-through display would allow some amazing AR experiences. Imagine a game like Pokemon Go, but instead of your phone's camera, you're literally looking through a sheet of glass displaying something over reality. Then there's awareness. If you could see through your phone, you would be more aware of your surrounding, potentially saving you a lot of trouble. And then there's multi-gestures. In patents registered by Samsung, they theorized a transparent display could be touch-activated from in front or behind, allowing for even more use cases. We actually saw something like that in the Mi Mix Alpha, which I talked about in that video. Look at this prototype from Japanese manufacturer Docomo in 2012. Again, sorry if I said that wrong. They created a Rubik's Cube game that could be interacted with from both sides of the display. This does look a little unwieldy, but bear in mind, this was literally just a prototype. Just like the touchscreen, a transparent display could open up a whole new world of possibilities for technology. But for reasons I'm about to explain, I don't think a fully transparent phone will ever really make it to market. There are several large disadvantages when it comes to a transparent display. The first of which is the color black. When you remove the back layer of a display to make it transparent, you remove its ability to display the color black. You can see this in the transparent TVs that are available to buy right now. They work best in an environment where the background is darker.
Think about that for a second. If the wall behind your TV is dark, it might as well not be a transparent TV.
There have been solutions proposed to make the glass self-tinting, allowing for clearer colors, but then you've just looped around to making a regular device. Another concern is privacy. Having a see-through display would mean everyone around you could see your screen from any angle. I can see how that wouldn't be something that you would really want. Another disadvantage for transparent displays is space. Phones today use every single square millimeter of space to cram in as many components as possible, which has gone horribly wrong in the past. While it is theoretically possible to make a device where all the components are crammed into that little border, which I will show you later, the resulting device would be significantly less powerful than any other phone on the market of the same size. It would just need to use smaller and less powerful components. This brings me to my ending theory. I don't think transparent phones will ever take off. It's simply too impractical, and it's not really fixing an issue. It doesn't bother me that I can't see through my phone, and I think if I could, it wouldn't really improve my life all that much. I think that this technology of see-through touchscreen displays would be best implemented on objects that are already transparent. Example, Windows. Have you ever seen Big Hero 6? In one of the early scenes, Tadashi knocks on a window and it turns transparent and then back again. It's sort of like a smart shade. This is the sort of smart technology that is already being implemented in our world. Imagine a pane of glass that could display relevant information, like, I don't know, the weather. A smart window, while admittedly still niche, would probably be a lot more useful than the current transparent TVs we have and the concepts of all these transparent phones. Transparent phones have also been eclipsed by the emerging field of AR and VR glasses. The idea of that Pokemon game I presented earlier would be so much better integrated into glasses, so you wouldn't really have to hold your phone up in front of you. I truly believe that one day AR glasses will become commonplace, and the ideas that are presented here for transparent phones would be better utilized in a pair of AR glasses or a headset. Okay, hopefully I've made it clear why I don't think that this has a future, but that didn't stop them from trying. In 2008, Nokia revealed their concept for a futuristic phone called the Nokia Morph. This was the sort of thing that was nowhere near possible when they came up with it, but it was a flexible see-through phone that could basically turn into any form factor you wanted. Throughout the years, there have been a lot of myths and concepts of a transparent phone in the works. The most popular example is the reoccurring transparent Nokia phone. Usually just an image created by some random person online, the Nokia transparent phone has gained a lot of interest and traction. Just to make it clear, Nokia probably isn't working on this. There's just a lot of people who like to make renders. Sometimes it's a Windows phone, sometimes it folds, and other times it has the styling of their very good-looking Lumia devices. There was this viral render of a new Xperia Pureness, and then, of course, there's Xiaomi. Being one of, if not the first company to make a fully transparent TV and sell it in a store, it's pretty likely they have a transparent phone sitting somewhere like a prototype. We've never seen it, of course, but that doesn't stop the endless rumors and concepts. In 2013, a Taiwanese company called Polytron unveiled their device. They did a bunch of press for it, and they were calling it the first fully transparent device, and then it never made it to market. Vivo supposedly patented a see-through iPod-looking device in 2021, but again, that seems to have gone nowhere. Samsung has by far created the most buzz, with a bunch of transparent tech-related patents, including the one I referenced earlier. I mean, these are all really phone-looking transparent devices. They definitely have been seriously working on this for a while, although it's unlikely that any of this will ever come to market. For the countless fake videos and renders I've seen on the internet, it's clear to me that this is an idea that the public is very excited about. And then there was one final event that brought transparent tech to the forefront one more time. In May of this year, a TikTok creator called AskCatGPT went viral after posting a video of her scrolling on a supposedly transparent phone. It appeared to just be an iPhone-shaped piece of glass. Instantly became a viral sensation, amassing tens of millions of views. Kat quickly followed up on the video with an explainer. Dubbed the Methaphone, it was really just a slab of acrylic designed by her friend.
What he wanted to test was, if we're all so addicted to our phones, then could you potentially curb somebody's addiction by replacing the feeling of having a phone in your pocket with something that feels exactly the same?
Emphasis, this thing did not work at all. It was literally just a paperweight. The product was meant to comment on modern phone addiction and point out our dependence on these devices and how silly it is that we spend so much time just looking at a piece of glass. But another response heard in the comments was, "Holy crap, I want a transparent phone." Many comments linked this product to the original transparent Nokia theory. Guys, give it up. Nokia is like in the ground. Today, transparent tech is all the rage. At CES, all sorts of transparent laptops, fridges, and TVs are shown off. There is even this wall of see-through TV art. Unfortunately for now though, it seems a transparent phone isn't something the companies are interested in selling. Heck, most transparent tech has never made it to market. Given the limited practicality as well as engineering holdups, a see-through smartphone probably won't be in our future anytime soon. Follow my Instagram at owencook.mp4 for all the behind the scenes stuff. I have more videos just like this one, and party on, dudes.